Owning a business was always a dream that we had. We just kind of never really saw it feasible, not realizing there were so many different programs, organizations out there that could assist you as a veteran. VetFran played a large role in us establishing, finding, and researching the franchise that we currently have.
What we've found is that our veterans serve their clients in the same way that they honorably served our country. They understand the mission, they plan like crazy, they execute, they're able to adjust and still focus on achieving the mission.
When they commit to something, they commit all in. We also find that veterans have very strong values, and in franchising, we represent brands, and we need people who are willing to stay committed to the brand promise.
It is a door, it's a path. When utilized correctly and taking advantage of everything they offer, whether it be the tools, the educational training or things they have just within the website, or making contact with some of the franchisors that are out there, it will lead them down a path of success.
It's really important for those veterans to stand up and proudly say, I'm part of this program, I'm a veteran, and own it. Because by doing that, they then get access to a lot of resources that could be critical to helping them achieve success.
Franchising is great for veterans, and veterans are great for franchising. So in my mind, there's no reason not to get involved. It's a matter of saying thank you by giving discount and support to these veterans, and they're going to bring so much value to your organization.
VetFran is a strategic initiative of the International Franchise Association. They provide access and opportunities in franchising to our nation's veterans and their spouses. Tell us more about franchising. What is it and how does someone get started in the industry?
So franchising is a truly American gift to business. It's an opportunity for people to have predictive results in business by learning from people that have developed a business model, set a standard of performance with operations manuals and all sorts of infrastructure that allows them to have a higher rate of success than they would be if they started their own business. And in exchange for some remuneration back to the franchisor who established this structure for them, they pay some sort of a franchise fee or an ongoing royalty to help in the support and development of the brand that they can lean on one another. So the franchisor and the franchisee are really business partners in a lot of ways.
What are some of the advantages of owning a franchise versus starting your own business?
Well, certainly speed to market is huge. I think the franchisor has had their lumps. They've figured it out. They've got people that have already developed brand standards. They've developed maybe an interest in the market, and they've got all the infrastructure, the manuals, the business model, the marketing materials, logos. I mean, when you think about how to build all of that from scratch, it can really be overwhelming. I think that's why a lot of people don't go into business. They just almost fail before they even start. And franchising helps them skip the first 28 steps in the process and immediately go to, is this a good business for me? Am I passionate about this? And how can I take this to the market? And the franchisor is hugely vested in that success because that's their brand as well.
What advice would you give to a veteran interested in becoming a franchisee?
A lot of veterans don't know what franchising is. They know McDonald's and Subway and Holiday Inn, but they truly don't know what the business model is. So I think the educational component is a huge element. All the things you talk about in the military, being able to follow orders and being able to think on your feet and having good moral character and commitment and honor, those are all things that really serve you well in business. But I think sometimes the thought is, well, I need to go out and get a job, or I'm not sure if I can translate my skills in the military into a business career. And we really help with that. We help veterans understand that if they were an MP, there's some really great businesses that they can use that type of experience and flourish in a business environment. And franchising for us with VetFran is all about providing opportunities for military members and their spouses and opening up careers in franchising. Maybe not as owners of franchises in every case, but certainly that's a great opportunity, but also careers in management, careers in working with customers and folks on the front lines in franchising, and I think that's a big part of the opportunity in franchising for veterans.
Explain what VetFran offers to veterans, the incentives, the discounts to help them enter the workforce. One
of the components and required elements of being in VetFran as the 650 member companies in the Franchise Association are part of, they'll provide initial franchise fee discounts, 10 to 15, maybe even 20%. They'll have vendors on board to help supply discounts. And the ongoing operation of the business. Some have great mentoring programs, some have additional training opportunities for their staff. Some brands are exclusively veteran owned. So there's brands out there that only sell franchises and open up their franchise community to veterans. Whereas a lot of other brands, we try and seek out veterans at every opportunity to join our organization, but it's a lot more than just discounts or opening of a franchise, it's also about job training. And a huge focus of ours going forward is a veteran job board and really having a conduit for all of these opportunities. We've introduced veterans at about 250,000 jobs over the last 5 years into franchising. And when we think about where we want to go and where we can take this country, I think our veterans coming back out of service deserve the best we can give them, and franchising is a great avenue for them.
Since the franchising industry covers so many different sectors, what is your advice to veterans who can't quite decide what to narrow in on?
I think the first step I would suggest to those folks, go to VetFran.com and reach out to the mentorship program. We have some fantastic mentors who, some have served and some are just patriots, but they understand what veterans and franchising can mean to both sides of the equation. We want to educate and help them make the best decision for them.
How did you become interested in franchising?
Well, as a 15-year-old, my father started a landscaping business, and so I look back on what we went through in starting the business and what he and my mom went through and my brothers who helped. And we had to do all of those things. We had to invent every component of the business. We really didn't have anybody to go to for support and mentoring. And so when I moved to Atlanta in 1993, I ended up joining up with these guys who were in franchising, and they were explaining the model to me, and they had an opening for a position, and I was eager to travel and really help people, because that's also the big responsibility for franchisors, to help their franchisees succeed. So it was great. I loved the model, and I've been having fun for 24 years since.
You're downplaying how incredibly accomplished you are, and you're making it sound really, really easy. What's the key to your success?
I think franchising is a team sport. We talk about that a lot. You're dependent on your fellow franchisees, you're dependent on your franchisor. So if you're really a lone wolf and you like doing things by yourself, franchising's not for you. But I think that's one of the appeals to veterans. And for me, I'm the youngest of 7 kids. 5 of the boys in my family were in the military. My dad and his uncles were in the military. And so I think as we went through that, you realize the bond of helping each other and working as a team. And I just think that's what has fueled me, and I just really like that environment.
Tell us more about your own military experience.
So my oldest brother joined the Marine Corps in the early 70s. And I remember we grew up on a farm in upstate New York, and he came home in his dress blues, and I think I was up to his knee. And from that point on, my mother told me she knew I was going to go in the Marine Corps. And so when I was 17 in high school, I enlisted in the Marine Corps and went to boot camp the following summer, and then was in the reserves. And then Desert Storm broke out, and so we were activated and went over early. Actually, a few of us volunteered to go over early, and it was a calling. It just really was a calling to serve.
Thank you for joining us here on Hiring America.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.